Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to today's video. It's been a hot minute since the last time I recorded a video, and I do very much so apologize for that because I was just lazing around this entire time. This time, couldn't work myself up to do it. Um, I'm so sorry. I think I promised in my last video that I would start making these more consistent, but apparently I lacked in my teeth, and I don't know the definition of consistent. uh, unless, of course, being consistent means late, in which case I'm nailing this whole thing. But that's unimportant. That's just basic YouTube intro stuff. An apology for being horrible as well. Now, what is important is the topic of this video. It's important to me at least, and probably you, henceforth why you're watching this video. Uh, and the title of this video is Her Appetite is Too Large for Me Alone. That's the English title of it, at least, or one of the many translation possibilities. And the Japanese title is in the title of this video. And this particular manga is a little bit different from what I usually cover. Because while it is a romance, which isn't unusual for me to cover, I usually do the sweet, fluffy rom-com type. But this one's a little bit different because there's a twist to it, because there's a lot of grotesque monsters in it as well, which makes it like slightly horror, possibly. I don't know. The horror in anime and manga is a little bit loosely thrown around, so maybe this can be considered one, maybe not. Who knows? Anyways, let's move on to the synopsis of the story for all those unfortunate people who clicked on this video without even knowing what they got themselves into. This story follows our first year middle school protagonist, Funatsugi Maki. Now, you're like always, he's your pretty ordinary middle school student. He's a bit shorter than the rest of his peers, and he's also a bit timid, but hey, who isn't around that age? And he's also in love with an upperclassman, his senpai, a girl by the name of Mitsuhara Sachi. She is very airheaded, she's very quirky, and she also has an appetite. She loves to eat, she loves to snack, etc., etc., etc. And he finds her very cute, blah 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 blah. All the usual stuff. Um, and our little protagonist, Maki, also has a secret. He's been able to see these weird monsters, weird little monsters, since childhood. Now, I say little monsters, but since he's gotten older, they've gotten larger and larger and larger and more horrifying. Um, and one day, he accidentally drags Sachi with him into like this weird monster's pocket dimension that he also happened to suck himself into unknowingly. He didn't know how he did it, but he did it anyways. Regardless, he almost dies, but is saved by Sachi as she turns into a giant whale and eats the monster alive. She then informs him that she herself is one of these vagrants, as they're called. And she was looking for this particular one, but she couldn't find it. But luckily, the monster is drawn in by Maki's scent, which is very strong and apparently can attract monsters. And so he's excellent at finding these monsters as well. And she then also promises him that she will protect him and eat anything that tries to harm him. Despite him also looking quite delectable to her as well. Now, this manga has 6 volumes. It's finished, and I read it all from start to finish. Now, this manga started off with a good art style. It had like a good like characters. They're very interesting. All the side characters that they introduce are also very interesting as well. Um, it had like it started off with like a cool like mystery thing, because you don't actually like know what's happening with Maki's parents and why he's attracting these monsters. It's pretty standard for these types of stories for the protagonist not to live with his parents, but the reason why isn't immediately explained, and so like it's kind of like, ooh, where are his parents? And there's a lot of like cool elements like that regarding the story. There's also like really cool monster designs as well. But like I mentioned, there were only 6 volumes, and I think it was like axed or like really rushed out or something, and like it had to end for some reason, because the story had so much to offer, but it just like it rushed it all so fast, like so incredibly fast, like near the end. I was very confused on what's happening. Like there's like the whole mystery element I told you. Like it just started like slapping like the reason whys onto you all of a sudden for no reason. And like you just start off with like one of the bigger mysteries regarding the parents, and like ooh, a clue, and then like just gets handed to you like 2 chapters later. You're like, well, fuck, I guess I'll die. And like the whole relationship between Maki and Sachi, there's a weird thing regarding it because, as you probably guess, Sachi kind of develops like an interest in Maki, but she can't tell if she's just like hungry and wants to eat him or she's actually in love with him, and that's never really clearly explained on which one it is. And like I mentioned quirky and fun side characters, but you barely get to see them. You see 2 side characters a lot. You see the supervisor and the maid, but even those two, which you see quite often, you don't. I didn't get enough of them, and they were the most like seen side characters. There's a lot more side characters in this story, and they're all very interesting, but you barely see any of them. And again, this problem could have been solved if it just had more and more volumes, but only at 6, and that was a problem. I don't know. I'm very unsatisfied with it. It left me wanting more. It had a lot to offer. It had a whole lot to offer. This could have been very, very good. But no. It ended and didn't really do any of the things I wanted it to do. Unfortunately. But regardless, nice speaking tap. If you get the chance, I'd recommend you read through it for yourself because like the first couple volumes were pretty good, but it like near the end like it just got like shoved out there super high speed, high frequency. But even with that, it wasn't awful. It wasn't offensively bad. It wasn't even like it wasn't even mediocre. It's still good. The whole overall enjoyment of it, but I felt like I don't know. The ending was very poor. It didn't really stick the landing. It was really unfortunate, but it was good. Can it really be considered good if it started off good but ended pretty bad? It wasn't an awful ending. It just was really thrown out there, haphazardly. And I just wish I had more. But anyways, I'm repeating myself now. It was a good manga, but it was just really rushed and spat out. For I'm assuming like publication problems and pressure. But anyways, that's gonna conclude today's video. I do hope the next video comes out sooner. It's entirely up to me, so I shouldn't be hoping for anything. But what can I say? I'm pretty lazy. But I do promise it'll at least be out before next week, hopefully. There's not even a high production value in these videos. I don't know what's taking me so long. It's just laziness. It's just laziness at this point. Oh, so anyways, that's gonna conclude today's video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Look out for the next video. It's gonna come out eventually, sooner or later. And yeah, I think it's gonna do it. Leave a like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to subscribe, blah 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 blah, all the other YouTube stuff. A comment is appreciated, blah 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 blah. Anyways, farewell.